All right, welcome back. Hey folks, Tim here from Playing for Second. Wanted to do another quick unboxing. This happens to be a game hot off of GMT's P500. I actually snuck in there. I saw that this one was at the printer and actually getting close to being delivered. Started looking closer at it. Snuck right in before it started delivering and got my P500 while the price was low. Just came in about maybe 2 weeks ago. And again, wanted to take a second to take a look at it. So what we're talking about is Wolfpack, the North Atlantic Convoy Struggles, October 1941 through March 1943. This game is was designed by Mike Berticelli, who I believe is the designer of Tank Duel, a game that came out, I'm thinking back to maybe 2020. We played a couple times, and that's a game that I actually got a lot of enjoyment out of. So in Wolfpack, the primary objective of the game, just going to read right off the back here, is to disrupt and destroy Allied shipping convoys during World War II with the available U-boats from the players' flotillas, thereby crippling the Allied supply lines to Great Britain. So we're taking on moving from tanks into U-boats and trying to disrupt supply lines and shipping convoys. This one, I gotta say, there's a little bit of weight to the box here. I'm kind of interested to see what all is going on inside of this thing. So with that, let's make a couple cuts and see what we're looking at. If I'm going to guess, I've not really been able to look super closely. I'm going to guess there's going to be a lot of cards from a card resolution standpoint. And again, just transferring that, or if it's similar to what we saw with Tank Duel. And also, I think I saw on here, yeah, there's 240 cards. So assuming that's likely where you're going to see a lot of the resolution. So let's take a look. Okay. All right, traditional GMT style. We've got a playbook, as well as, wow, a pretty hefty rule book. A mere 76 pages, including the index. All right, very good. Definitely not one where I'm going to go page by page, but let's just flip through a couple pages here and just see what we're looking at. So first off, starting off with some definitions. Pretty good artwork, not just a wall of text. They're actually showing you some of the chits, showing you some of the cards, and at least showing you some of the components as they define them and talk through each of them. All right, very good. Hey, look at that, shocker. Page 5, and we're already talking about card pulls. All right, excellent. Oh, there are some die rolls, though. And again, like most GMT games of this ilk, you've got that large, I'm going to assume it's an 8-fold or 8-panel board. What are they usually? 34 by 22, I believe. So, yep, 34 by 22. So, be good size board here. All right, let's see. Playbook. Kind of jumped by that. Love the color palette on this. Just the grays and the blues and the greens. It's really neat. Really neat art here. Yep, as you would expect, how to play. Really defined here with a training scenario. This is going back a few years, but GMT was the first game that I ran into a situation like this, where you had a rule book, you had a playbook, and often the playbook was you just go step by step, and it's almost staged to walk you through the first, maybe first first couple turns just to get some of that practice under your belt. First game I think I did that with was one of the coin games. I think it was the 2-player one. The was a French-Algerian War. I'm not remembering the name of the game at the moment. All right, campaign pack. All right, looks like for each campaign you're going to have one of these sheets. This almost reminds me of a GMT leader games, where you've got you're tracking your your specific flotillas here, and I'm assuming you're getting into specific U-boats within those flotillas. And then on the back of that, crew enhancement track. That's interesting. Looks kind of like some tech trees maybe, based on each crew type. Very good. And no surprise, when we're dealing with GMT, we've got some player aids. Just your traditional 8.5 by 11. If you've noticed, one of the things I almost immediately do with my games is round some of these corners. I don't like sharp corners on player aids. That's just a pet peeve of mine. So those will be rounded pretty soon. Wow, and it's going through, I think that was 5. Here's a double size one. A lot of information in this one. All right, so now what was different between those two, or are they the same? We might be. Okay, all right, so this is probably just for different players. See, those two look the same. And another looks like double escort refit U-boat damage effects. I mean, it's pretty cool that they have all these tables consolidated. Looks like they've got a lot of the procedures all laid out here as well. Well, if there was any concern that this game wasn't going to be complex, I think even just looking at the player aids puts that concern to rest. All right, so I lost count of how many player aids that was, but it is not insignificant. All right, and then we're looking at counters. These look like the ships that you're. Well, I'm not positive. I'm not positive what those are. Well, they got victory points on them, so I'm assuming those are the ships that you're going after, and not the ones that you are themselves. And something that I really like about GMT, their larger counters all come pre-rounded. They always punch very well. Very nice color on these. Looks like different damages, heavy damage, light damage, I'm assuming. Alarms, very good. I'm interested to see what these are used for. Now, again, this type of counter type counter, where you actually rotate it. The first time I had played a game with that was a recent game of Phantom Fury from Nuts publisher, or from the publisher Nuts, and you end up using it, basically counting down the number of I think it was number of rounds that you had for your RPGs. All right, so taking a look at the again that larger board that GMT tends to provide. Again, I'm pretty sure this is going to end up being an 8-panel. All right. And as you might figure, with a game dealing with a an ocean setting, it's lots of dark navy gray, but wide open. So I'm assuming, if you do have any things out there that you are encountering, it's going to be very modular, based on the other components that we have available. So we've got turn and info track over here, information about the convoy speed, weather, time of day, specific escorts. Looking at this, we've got surface and then periscope depths. Very good, very good. All right. I don't know why it is that whenever I see a board like that, it always reminds me of the first time I opened up Twilight Struggle and saw a board that huge, and very early into my gaming career, and just thought that was pretty cool. All right, here we go. We've got some more chits we can maybe take a little bit closer look at. Looks like these are maybe some of the torpedoes or armaments that we're dealing with. And then over here, looks like these might be the U-boats that we have as options. Now this is a 1 to 4 player game. I was most likely planning on playing this mostly solitaire, but I did notice that it did play up to 4 players, and I'm assuming that's what these end up being, is basically your player boards. Very good, very good. Different crew across the middle here. Flooding, I'm assuming that's going to come into account as you take on damage as well, especially because you look over here and it says sunk when you get to the G. So, all right. All right, cards. We've got 3 packs of cards in here. Patrol deck. Boy, this looks like some of that resolution that I was describing, the U-boat damage based on LMH. I'm assuming light, medium, or low, medium, high. Ship damage, small, medium, large. Oh, small, medium. No, small, medium, large over here. Interesting. And that's the ASW attack deck. And then you've got the angled DRM deck. Let's take a look. And traditionally, again, GMT, one of the things that I never have to worry about with their games is the card quality always seems to be very solid. The card stock, nice rounded corners. Again, you're not going to be getting cards caught on anything or anything like that. All right, angled DRM deck. Let's see how much of this is that. Boy, maybe it's the whole oh, no. Then we got combat deck. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to be not positive what these are. I see 2 different weather types. Looks like we've got cloudy and rainy. We have slow convoy, fast convoy, convoy spot. Assuming that's what if the group has been identified. Specific range, and then also time and weather. Very good. And ways to potentially randomize some of the dice roll modifiers there. Oh no, these are actually the combat. This is the combat deck. All right, so with these, again, there's the nice back on that, and the front of the cards. Okay, all right. Then over here we've got this is the Angle DRM deck, and this, it looks like you use them for one of two things. Either you're using them for this side, the small, medium, large, or you're using them based on die roll modifiers, based on likely, I'm assuming, angle of attack here. And there's a a pretty decent stack of those as well. I'm going to assume maybe 30 or 40 here. All right, next stack, we've got some ASW attack deck cards. And I'm assuming this isn't all just that type of card. Again, really neat art on the backs of these. You've got that for the attack deck. You've got this for the detonation damage deck. All right. And for the backs of the attack, ASW attack, as you might figure, it's going to be, through some randomization, it's going to have a table there. Assuming this has to do with the depth chart that we saw on the right hand side of the main table, or of the main board. Very good, very good. And then detonation damage. This, again, gives me similar feels to Tank Duel and how the damage was resolved within that game. Again, it just kind of randomized it through a deck of cards, and it could be severity of the damage. It could be what part of the ship or tank was impacted by the damage. So and also the different types of torpedoes that, in this case, torpedoes that are involved within the game itself. Very good. Last pack of cards. On the top here, it's got the patrol deck. Okay. So we've got our patrol deck. What other types of cards do we have in here? Well, we know we at least have a battle deck. Patrol deck, battle deck. And that may be the rest of the pile here. All right, so let's take a look at the patrol deck first. All right, and again, pretty cool card back here. And then the battle deck. Again, the art on the backs of these cards, just very, 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 very good for games of this type. Again, when at least what I found so far, when I get into war games, oftentimes the art can be something that sometimes gets forgotten to a certain degree, and it's definitely, they tend to be games that are definitely function over form. But GMT tends to do a pretty good job of bringing some pretty decent art into these situations. So here's the front of one of the patrol decks, patrol deck cards, and looking at this one, boy, at the bottom third of the card, it talks about starting positions of U-boats. The rest of it, boy, this is, I really don't know what I'm looking at here. I feel there's going to be a lot to learn with this title. Looking forward to it. All right, and taking a look at our last card, we've got the the battle deck, and we took a look at the back of one of these previously, but let's take a look at the fronts of a couple. And again, situation or similar to what we were talking about, or what I was mentioning on the Tank Duel cards. This is another one where it looks like this has more to do with evasion and acquisition, of being able to find or hone in on some of the targets that you're trying to track down here. Looks like it has weather, in the bottom right there. It has weather, and then also daytime, nighttime, just to give you a 2x2 grid having to do with visual. All right, cool. Well, very good, very good. Lost count of how many decks of cards we had here. I think we're ended up being six different types of decks. All of the player aids, the different player boards. Surprisingly, I figured there were going to be more chits in this, or encounters. Now we did see what I think we saw like 3 or 4. Ends up being 4 different full sheets of those. So yeah, that's ends up being a pretty good amount. But with that, I will say thank you again for joining me for taking a look at Wolfpack, the North Atlantic Convoy struggles from GMT. And again, this has been Tim from Playing for Second. We'll catch you next time.